A society where the triple evils of racism, capitalism with its economic exploitation, and sexism rear their ugly heads 24/7, with the stepchildren of black-on-black ignorance, doubt, self-hatred, and often violence towards self and kind. All of this black-on-black violence, this fratricide, this evil doing that we are perpetuating on ourselves has a history and it has a reason. And it can be better understood if you can grasp some of the principles that our great leaders and teachers have laid down for us. The Honorable Malcolm X, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, often told us back in the 60s that we black folks must launch a black cultural revolution to unbrainwash an entire people. You know, Malcolm X was our fire prophet, brought up by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He flourished in the Nation of Islam and then created his own organization, the Organization for Afro-American Unity, and the Muslim Mosque Incorporated. And this brother wrote this book, a book of his speeches called By Any Means Necessary. And the things that he said in this book are true today. And if we're going to ever be free, our youth especially, and our right-thinking adults must take time to do work study to get at the rich knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that Malcolm X and others have left for us. The keys to understanding America in the present time lay in what they were talking about. America must be understood in terms of its various systems. There's something called institutional racism, dear brother and sister. We got to understand that. America's political system operates off basically 4 institutional areas. You got the executive branch, which is the president. You have the legislature, which is the Congress. And you have the judicial area, which is the court system, Supreme Court, and so forth. But there's a 4th area of government. It's called the bureaucracy. And there's a lot of nasty, bad things that go on because of the bureaucracy. Those are the various agencies of government that actually interface with the people. But a lot of times in those textbooks that you learn in school, they won't really deal with the thorns and thistles that have come about as a result of a country that doesn't practice what it preaches. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and all those other hypocrites talked all these lofty words about, you know, equality of opportunity. All men are created equal. You know, the whole thing of property rights and these kind of things. But what they neglected to say is that the country was built off the enslavement of our people, the African people. They refused to admit that capitalism, which is the economic system, is based on profit over people. Profit by any means necessary. And if you're in this kind of society, the values of the dominant people, the dominant race class, will be drummed into you through many sources. The schools will miseducate us like they have been doing. You will get all of these ideas through the business community, the advertisements you see. The television is one of the greatest enemies to black empowerment and for righteousness and social justice in this country. Even the movie industry, the media, on that level, brainwashes people. So America is actually a very complex place. It seduces us into thinking that everything's okay. So a lot of our people really don't understand that there are certain principles that remain intact from when they first started this country back in the 1400s and formally in 1776 with the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and so forth. They had slaves then, and they had slaves on up through when we were so-called emancipated in 1865 by another racist president by the name of Abraham Lincoln. Our minds, dear family, have been falsified. Dr. Amos Wilson, the renowned psychologist and Black Power historian, informs us in several books. One is called The Falsification of African Consciousness, and he deals with how our consciousness has been falsified on purpose. These photos are of some of the presidents that we've had. All of them have been white. I don't know if y'all can see all of this, but I have a whole thing here that shows all of the presidents. Now, they basically were limited in what they could do to correct injustice in society. So I warn us, even though we're proud of Barack Obama and we think that this is going to usher in a great and new renaissance in America, I mean, I would hope that it would. But realistically, we have to understand something about that office. The president by himself can't just wave a magic wand and straighten out the society in the world, even if he wanted to or she wanted to. So we got to understand that there is a balance of power, checks and balances that they were able to build into the system of governance or political organization in America. So, you know, we can't just think automatically that everything is going to be okay. Our people in America, as well as others of color, suffer from three main structural value systems that are negative to people's freedoms. Racism, again, capitalism with its economic exploitation, and sexism, where we try to unjustly dominate the females, and that gives us some kind of sense of power. But all of those negative structural value systems is just a form of Satan. And we got to kick all that to the curb if we're going to really have a situation where we have a system of freedom and experience freedom in this society. Let me take y'all back to something that Dr. Karenga reminds us of, and this is another one of his Los Angeles Sentinel articles. I'm quoting him from an article called An Ambivalent Embrace of Obama, the Maturity or Masking of America. And it was in the Los Angeles Sentinel, January 10th of 2008. He says, and I'm quoting, "There is no easy walk or way to freedom, no shortcut or quick jump to justice or empowerment of the people, and no untroubled and trial-free path to enduring peace in the world." He reminds us that Frederick Douglass forever told us, without struggle, there is no progress. So, dear people, we're going to have to, as a people, make sure that we have a balance in our culture or way of life. We're going to have to take time out from all that shopping we be doing and all that blood and gladiator sports we be watching and all those distractions we be into. All the booty popping videos, we're going to have to turn that stuff off and try to deal with some empowerment culture for our people. As far as Barack Obama is concerned, Dr. Karenga says, quote, "If we want miracles, we must make them ourselves through hard work and long struggle and cooperation in and for our community. The miracles then will be made not in a single election, regardless of how historic it promises to be.